Well, it looks like we are back for another week of the Fireside Tales on Kronos World. Thank you so much for joining us again this week. Some quick announcements. Please go check out Limithron over on Patreon. He is our channel sponsor here, and he does map assets and tokens and other really, he's doing full adventures now. He's got some really cool stuff going on over on his Patreon channel, so please go check that out. It's Limithron. While you're there, please come check out our Patreon as well. All the support we get definitely helps us keep the channel going and keep all these shows going as well. So we definitely appreciate any support we get there. Getting to this campaign, we are running through the Dragon of the Icespire Peak line from D&DBeyond and Wizards of the Coast, and I'm super excited to get back into this. We had a short crew last week, so I'm very excited to have a full team. We got a new phase going on with the team. If you want to, talk to us about that, please come check us out in Discord and all that good stuff, and we will make sure to get all of that social media information out there so you can click all the links and like all the likes and all those good button things. Definitely appreciate all of that stuff as well, all of the follows and likes and everything else. So let us go ahead and jump back into this campaign. So where we had left off last week, we were getting set up to go to the next kind of little adventure, the next mission that was in play here, and they had kind of gone over to at the very end there, they had gone to Barthen's Provisions, and we're kind of talking to the workers for Elmar Barthen, his guys, Ander and Thistle, kind of a younger crew he's got going on there. Let me go ahead and jump everybody that's watching here on over to this live scene so we can see the rest of this team here. All right, here we are. Let's go ahead real quick, since we do have a new member of the team. We'll just say who we are, our real names. If you guys want to plug anything that you do that these guys can check out online or any of that kind of stuff, please do that. And we'll just say, what our character name is, and especially in the case of our new friend here, Zeke, don't give away too much about that character just yet. But if we want to go ahead and start with Mitch, go ahead and start, bud.
All right, Mitch, I play Alabaster the Rogue. All-around good gentleman.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's earned the jazz hands with that quite yet, but I feel like we're working up to it for sure. Let's go ahead and jump right next to our newest player, Zeke. See if he's got that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zeke. A character named Calcite, last child of
the Forge. That is pretty awesome, and we are definitely super stoked to be getting him onto the team with us. Why don't we jump right on over to Dan there?
I play Teo the Monk of a starting to forgotten monastery tucked into the mountains. Who knows what they do?
It is a monastery that has kind of become secluded and lost in the mountains near Mount Hote now, for sure. And we almost had Dan playing Dark Teo as of last week. That was very close, and indeed he was able to kind of win over his darker impulses and win the day. Let's jump right on over to Quinn.
Hey, I'm Quinton, or in our Discord, the Big Quinn. And I play Kellen Boomsparkles, one brother of two. I am our Order of the Scribes wizard.
Brand new from Tasha's, and we are definitely excited to get some of that material worked into our campaign for sure. We do like to, see what we can do about mixing things up and having the fun stuff going on in our campaigns for sure. And that leads us to last, but most certainly not least, our own Dread.
Greetings, I'm Dread, pronouns he, him, his. I play Jellen Boomsparkles, a rock gnome futurist from Gnomengard, Battlesmith Artificer.
Futurist. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, so where we left off in our last campaign we had just kind of talked to Ender and Thistle, and they so right at the end there, they are going to kind of tell you guys that it is going to be a little bit of time until they're able to kind of get the last of those supplies together, giving you guys a little bit of time to kind of take care of a last couple of things to get ready. And at this time, Dell actually, he says, well, all right then. I'm going to go tell old Alabaster. We'll be leaving out here in a little bit. Did you want me to have him go check out them gems? Well, we had a little bit of time to kill there, Jellen.
I'm sorry. I thought we decided for the sake of expediency to just divide up the gems. Or did we decide to go back to having Alabaster try to sell them?
You had kind of ascertained the value of the gems yourself and decided to split up the gold, and then you were going to try and see if Alabaster could get some more value than what you had ascertained their value as.
I mean, if we're about to leave, I don't know if we want to take out more time. If we do have the time, if we want to try to get more money for it, I think that would be the most cost-effective method.
And you do know that Kellen, you haven't seen Kellen in a little bit of time, and he's not with you here at Barthen's Provisions, so trying to track down your brother before you leave would definitely be burden. And as you guys are kind of standing there, you see Lenariel actually kind of look off, and she kind of like narrows her eyes a little bit, and she kind of looks back at you guys, and she says, I'll be right back. There's something I need to see over here. And you see her kind of heading off towards these trees. Anyone that wants to roll a perception check is definitely welcome to do so. That would pretty much be Jellen and Teo. Alabaster and Kellen are not. Okay. You don't really see what's caught her attention. But as she's kind of walking off, she says, yeah, so if I'm not back in a little bit, just go ahead and I'll catch up and stuff, okay?
No, we'll wait, it's no problem.
Well, I'll catch up. And then she just kind of turns, and you see her just kind of distractedly, almost just kind of waving over her shoulder as she says, I'll catch up. And she kind of disappears into the trees.
I think she knows what she's doing.
Okay.
She's highly capable, Jellen. I'm sure she'll be fine.
You see Dell kind of elbows you in the shoulder a little bit with your shorter stature, and he says, Oi, I'm sure you'll see her again, little one. Let me see them gems. I'll take them to Alabaster. Let's see if you can track down your brother, oi?
Well, if I give you the gems, I'd have to explain to you the price of each gem. It's kind of the whole deal of it. I need to kind of get together with Alabaster so we can formulate the plan ourselves.
I think you told the party what they were worth.
Did you catch everything I said? I know sometimes I'm difficult to understand.
Oi, yeah, you said these little blood gems over here, they was worth 10 gold or something like that, oi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it all under control.
These ones are worth 50. This one's 15. This is 30. This is 25. This is 25. Overall, well, okay. Here you go.
And he hands off the satchel of gems to Dell.
Okay. He kind of looks over at Teo and he's like, you caught all that, right?
Yeah. Teo had been looking off towards the woods a little bit and turns back. And...
Okay. All right. So he kind of looked you up and down a little bit, and he kind of reaches over, and you kind of hear him mumble like a small incantation, almost like a priestly's type of a chant, and you feel some of the injuries that you had taken with your darker self kind of heal, and some of that pain fade away as he casts Cure Light Wounds on you. Says, look like you could have another ale while we're waiting, Oi.
Thank you, Dell. Yes, that sometimes when you wrestle your inner demons, you get a bit more beat up in the process than you expect.
You said that lightly. You don't know the least of it, And he kind of just chuckles, and he kind of puts his arm around you and walks you off back towards the Stonehill Inn. And when you guys get there, you do see Alabaster just kind of chilling up at the bar, enjoying an ale as he is wont to do. So you see Dale kind of comes up next to you, Alabaster, and he puts the satchel of the gems down on the table with you. And says, seems like we got a little bit of time before we head out. Not quite ready getting the provisions together for the logger camp. What say you go over and talk to Alia and see if you can get some coin for these?
Sounds wonderful. With my pleasure.
He said these were 15, and these ones here was 25. That one there's 30. And well, you just get the best price you can,
Nobody resists my charms.
Okay. So you do kind of drain the last of your ale and head over towards that Phandalin Miners Exchange. And Jellen, were you going to go off in search of your brother, or what did you have in mind?
Jellen's still kind of standing there, waiting to see if Lenario comes back.
Okay. You do kind of stand there for a while and just kind of staring off into the trees where she disappeared. Just kind of holding that moment, but she doesn't kind of return.
Jellen catches the gist of the situation. He is visibly crestfallen, and he slinks his way back to the Emporium.
Okay. So you do make your way back over to the Boomsparkle's Emporium of Magnificent Inventions, Wondrous Magical Effects, and Apothecary Provisions. And upon reaching your business of choice, you go in the front door. You don't see a dabber around anywhere, but you do see your brother, Kellen, seems to have returned from whatever little mission he was on. And you see him kind of working busily away in his half of the Emporium. You see Sebastian up on a bookshelf just kind of lazily kind of stretch as you walk in, and he just kind of yawns, a big cat yawn, and gets himself comfortable again.
Jellen walks up beside Kellen and just stares blankly in the general direction of what Kellen is doing.
Okay.
You can see Kellen has his spellbook open, and Kellen normally carries around a pretty hefty spellbook for a gnome. It takes up, it's almost like a backpack for him most of the time. He normally keeps it sort of under, like, in between his actual backpack and his back, and it's now on the table in front of him, fully opened. And you'll notice that an interesting thing is he's writing in it with a feathered quill, but the quill itself is not normal. Normally, it's sort of, bird, of some random bird's sort of feather with that white pinion part. This one actually is light blue in coloration and kind of reminds you of some of the magic Kellen has done before. And as he's scribbling around, eventually he notices you're there. And he goes, hey, brother, it's great to see you. You would not believe what I found. You remember how I told you I was going to pursue, transmutation, right? Instead of going down our father's path? Be my own thing. Maybe get mom to stop shitting on me so much. Turns out I may have stumbled on something quite interesting. And it looks like I've been able to infuse my book with some special properties. I know you may not remember me talking about this, but you know how I need to use your tools as sort of the focus for your work, right? I normally use either my hat or the wand for my my spell casting to focus my powers. Now I can use my book fully, and I get this cool nifty quill, which I hold up the quill or whatever, and it makes copying down spells so much quicker and easier, and even it look I move my quill over from my book to the desk, so it's a quill, right? No ink pot or anything, but look, and I'll write on the desk in Gnomish, the Boomsparkle brothers are awesome, and it leaves a trail of indigo ink. I can write on pretty much anything. And then there's this, and then I flip the quill around and give a quick brush on what I just wrote, and it disappears. Yeah, it's really cool. Oh, I know I've been absent for a bit, but I've just been stuck in this sort of inspirational mode about my book. And then he'll finally stop blathering on and realize you have that blank look. And Jellen, are you okay?
Huh?
You didn't hear a word I said, did you?
What?
What's on your mind, Jellen? What's on your mind? You're clearly occupied by something. Did you piss off Linario? Or is she mad at you or something?
Jellen just starts shaking at this point. He just, I think I did.
Oh no.
Are you sure? You're not the best when it comes to the women folk. Tell me what happened, and maybe I can interpret, and we can figure out exactly what happened.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. She left. She's,
like left?
I think so. I think I did some. I don't know what I did. I don't.
Okay, you're okay. You may be throwing that out of proportions. Tell me exactly what was said.
I do believe he's going to cry, sir.
Shh. Not right now. Look, I'm pretty sure she's... again, tell me exactly what it said. We might be blowing this out of proportions.
She just walked off into the woods. She said she had to take care of something. But I know it was me.
No. Look.
I've been bothering her ever since she came here.
No, it's probably not you.
I always mess this up every time.
Jellen. She walked off into the woods to she had to take care of something. Meaning she had to take care of something. Just take it at face value. She's probably off doing some elvish or half-orc ritual or something. I don't know.
I'm sorry, Kellen.
Did she say
I'm
she was going to
sorry
come
about-
back?
I think she said it half-heartedly.
I would not worry. She's probably going to come back as soon as she's done. She seems like she can deal with a lot. I mean, she put up with the both of us quite a bit, and I mean, she seemed to be actually kind of fond of you in her own way.
But she's gone.
Not forever, just until she's done. Again, I think you're really taking this way harder than you really need to be. And I
I'm
mean,
sorry, Kellen.
Even if she's not gone, we could see her again later on.
This is always gonna happen. It's though I'm not good with people. I'm not good with women. I get distracted and try to quantify everything, and then I can't quantify this, and it freezes me up. And you're the only person who's been here for me all this time, and I should have been respecting that more. I had this idea. I was going to, and Jellen just like snaps his fingers, and out from the back of the shop walks a hulking automaton of brushed steel, fashioned to look similar to fur, almost exoskeletal carapace covering this form, taller, or almost standing taller than Jellen and Kellen, but on 4 legs. Huge dog's head in muted metallic gunmetal color, but you can see exposed workings of gears and systems moving inside of this canine figure. Glowing crystalline eyes and gleaming claws and teeth just kind of meander out from the back and come to sit down next to Jellen.
You immediately see Sebastian up on the top of this bookshelf. He had gone from his comfortable sleeping spot up into full arch, and you see him with his tail fluffed out, and kind of you hear the claws already digging into the top of this bookshelf, and you just hear him just, Sir, what is that?
It's some type of automaton. John, when did you make this? This is. I get up from my desk and walk over and start to examine it. I will give you some points for this. This is
Get away from it, sir. I'm sure it's dangerous.
No, my brother wouldn't make anything like that.
This is a very dangerous robot I built to kill your cat.
What? What?
You hear it.
This is the bionically operated, outstandingly mechanically engineered robot. I thought I could protect you if I killed the demon.
Sir, I knew it.
If I killed it because it wasn't innately summoned through traditional means, it would be dead, and then you would have to summon a brand new familiar. But
I told you, sir, it's a monstrosity. Kill it with fire.
I'm pretty sure that plan wouldn't work. And I should have just trusted you from the beginning. And I'll be a better brother. We have this mission we're going on. I'm gonna be waiting near Barthen's provisions.
Come
on, Boomer.
Jellen, don't hold up. Don't leave. Come here. I'll go over and lead you back to my own chair and sit you back down. Look, you got infatuated with the lady. It happens to us all. We're both men. I mean, I'm sure it'll happen to me at some point. School days. There was a very nice lady. I was after myself, and we all make mistakes. But I mean, I don't think she's gone forever. You're still a good brother. I'll always be here for you. Even if you wanted to kill my cat, which, again, it wouldn't really work because Sebastian either would just get away or I'd just resummon him because he's not a demon. He's just a lucky cat. I told you before, you can
Boomer's very
contract
fat.
familiars with others, but I understand. I understand you wanted to protect me. You did this from a good place, though, don't want you killing Sebastian, and you probably couldn't if you wanted to. But still, look, everything will be all right. You seem really down. I feel like if it was meant to be, it'll happen in due time. And if it's not, I know this sounds a little crass, but you'll heal in time, and then you'll find interest in another lady twice your size who can bench press the both of us easily. I'm sure of it.
As you're kind of comforting your brother, you suddenly hear this loud slap as this book kind of hits the floor right next to you guys. As you look up, you see Sebastian up on the top of the bookshelf, and you see him pawing at another book as he seems to be trying to aim it towards your brother.
Sebastian, stop that. He is...
Sir, he built that thing to kill me, sir. I am only protecting myself.
You are safe. He just apologized, and he realized it was a mistake to try and do that.
Bat. Sir, if I just take him out now, then I will be for sure no danger for me in the future. Bat.
Look, you will not be in danger, and if you really feel that are you really gonna sit there and tell me you're scared of that dog thing? Aren't you a golden cat? A proud golden cat? What do you mean, afraid?
Well, of course I am, sir. I'm quite superior to that creature in every way possible, but...
I can tell you're talking to it. I'm gonna go. While they're talking, Jellen just walks out with Boomer behind him.
Damn it, Sebastian.
Sir, I just saved you, I'm sure of it. And you see him just kind of turns and he looks away from you with that... He's got his ears, pointed towards you, so you know he's, looking at you in that cat way, but he's not looking at you with his eyes.
Oh my god, my brother's depressed. Leonard was off in the woods. Good god. You leave to delve into research for a few hours, or maybe a day or two. I'm not entirely sure how long it's been. And everything changes. Good god. Sebastian, do not try to kill my brother. I told you could play tricks. There's no actual, vanquishing him. Or his new dog contraption.
Oh, do we have to take the monstrosity off the table? I mean, I feel like if I were to just take it out before anything could happen, then we would both be much safer, sir.
I'm going to be honest with you, Sebastian. You know what? I don't think you can actually take it out. He would probably just... The same way I can resummon you if something terrible was to happen to keep you around, he would just rebuild it. Plus, also, as far as I know, until we test out the new spell I have, you're not really combat orientated. You're great for scouting and noticing things and even sneaking a few places, but you're not. I don't think you could hurt the creature that is clearly made of iron and steel, and I believe some type of gems.
So basically what you're telling me, sir, is that I could destroy this thing multiple times.
Truly, and then you should not fear it whatsoever. I mean, honestly, it will probably end up becoming a minion for you.
You don't hear a spoken response, but you can just tell the wheels are turning in your cat familiar's mind.
Yep, that is classic Sebastian. I'm gonna pick up the book that fell off, put it back on the shelf using the tiptoes, and then grab my new really cool spellbook, dismiss my quill, strap to my back, and then rush off after my brother, who seems to be really, really depressed over one chick he doesn't know that well.
So he is definitely going to kind of pause for a moment. But you can tell as the door swings shut, he just kind of skitters through at the last moment. That is going to take us right on over to Alabaster here. So you kind of make your way over. What's Teo going to do? Are you going to go with Alabaster, or are you going to hang here?
Teo does go with Alabaster.
Okay. So you guys make your way over to this Phandalin Miners Exchange. And I'm actually going to switch us over to this other scene here real quick, just so they can see all this cool map stuff we get to see. Welcome to the town of Phandalin, viewers. All 2 of you out there, I appreciate you. You're awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. So you guys do make your way over here. Let me turn off this song here, because once you go into this Miners Exchange, if there's anything about the audio that you guys don't like, go ahead and switch over to that bell, and you can adjust the settings so it's not too loud for you guys. As you walk into this Miners Exchange, you definitely hear the workers there busily at work, hammering on the deliveries that have come in over the last days and weeks. As you walk in, you do, of course, see Halia Thornton. And I'll go ahead and show this to you guys again. Oh no. I'm wrong. I'm not going to show it to you guys again, because I forgot to fix that. But you do see Halia Thornton kind of sitting behind her desk, and as you come in, she kind of sits back a little bit, and she looks at the 2 of you coming in. Well then, what can I do for you today?
Ma'am, do I have an opportunity for you? I have in my possession some bloodstones. You're not going to find them coming through here much anymore with the orcs and dragons about. So I'm going to give you a good deal after you appraise these.
Bloodstones, you say? Well, let's have a look at them.
Alright, I'm going to like slowly pour them on her desk.
Okay.
Making a show of it.
All right, and you see her just very stone-like, not looking very impressed by this show of yours, and she just kind of stone-like, just kind of watches these gems spill out. Quite a nice haul. And where did you find these beauties?
Oh, it was in a old dwarven temple, surrounded by orcs and little yellow jellies, and hard to come by. It'll be harder to come by here pretty soon.
Indeed. Not seen gems of their like. Should we have them appraised for you then?
Yes, that would be very nice. I do have a idea of their price, but I'd like to hear yours too.
Okay. And Teo would remember that at the Stone Hill Inn, sitting at the table that Jellen had when he was showing you guys, and you guys were splitting up the loots and stuff, he had mentioned the prices of these gems.
And Teo also remembers that Jellen had counted the number of gems, so I know that there is a minimum amount that we should be getting from these.
Okay. Well, of course, there will be an appraisal fee.
That won't be a problem.
Well then. She just kind of snaps her fingers, and you see one of the workers kind of come over and scoops up these gems and kind of gets over to the table, kind of pushes aside the project that they had been working on. And sets to work with the jeweler's loop and kind of starts checking out these gems. As this is happening, she kind of, is looking you over a little bit. And she says, seem to be a man of resources. Word is getting around town about those that travel with their own Boomsparkles, brothers.
A good wood or a bad wood?
Well, I suppose that is depending on who you ask. Mr. Wesker doesn't seem to be too fond of you lot.
Mr. Wester hides in his home. His opinion should not matter much.
She just kind of rolls her eyes at this and just seems to be in full agreement with you on this topic. Well, they are quite the pair, those two. It is good that they have someone to look over them in the wilds. There are many dangerous elements in the world. Orcs, monsters, bandits abound. I've heard that you had some trouble with bandits north of Nomengard.
Bandits, orcs, jellies. We have trouble following us. You hear me?
I heard that.
Same.
I was just agreeing with her.
Yeah.
As he mentions jellies, Teo like subconsciously like looks up at the ceiling of the place that they're in.
Okay. And you see her kind of look to Teo as he does this, almost fleetingly. Teo, you don't notice this, but Alabaster, you do. And she just kind of like, her eyes kind of dart to Teo and then back to you, Alabaster. Roll a perception check, Mr. Hawks. She says, so there were bandits that you ran into north of Nomengard then?
Yes, there was.
It is important to the mining interests of Phandalin to keep track of those who would prey upon our town and upon our associates. Was there anything special about these bandits? Did you find any identifying marks or insignia upon them? Any sign of who they were working for?
Alabaster looks at Teo and then holds his tongue. No, ma'am, just your average bandits.
Okay. And she kind of studies you for a moment. Go ahead and roll a deception check.
I even deceived myself.
Not even to save yourself, he says. Man, there's no way she's going to beat that. Okay. She just kind of studies you for a moment, and she nods after a few seconds. Well, as I noted before, seemed to be a man of resources, finder of lost trinkets and treasures. How about people, Mr. Hawks? Would you find a person for the right amount of coin?
For the right amount of coin, I'd do just about anything. Did you lose someone?
Well, running the mining businesses of Phandalin are not my only interests. I've also been known to give rewards for artifacts, trinkets, treasures, bits and bobs of monster bits. Perhaps that bit of business may take a hit with our little Boomsparkles being able to open their own magical emporium, I hear. Interesting.
Ma'am, I'm a scoundrel, but if you ask me to sabotage the brothers, I just won't do that.
No, that is not what I ask. As I said, I have other operations. One other that is off the books, you understand. And
Oh, I
again,
understand.
her eyes kind of flick towards Teo at this. Just bounties come across my desk at times, and we're always looking for agents capable of such assignments. Have you an interest in rewards for lives as well as those for relics, Mr. Hawks?
What is this reward you talk? How much we talking about?
Well, I just happen to have a bounty that recently came in, and I am looking for someone of talent and intellect to catch this prize. Will not be easy, but the reward is significant. 1,000 gold crowns.
Alabaster can't hide his happiness.
Okay.
1,000, just to bring somebody into you. That's it. Dead or alive.
The target is to be captured alive and as unharmed as possible. I hear that there is much in store for this one. The target was last seen leaving Neverwinter, so he could be anywhere by now. But a contract is a contract.
What do you think, Teo? You think the party would do a bounty?
Teo glances at Alabaster and says, "Why is it that you are so eager to catch this person?"
Why am I?
Not you. No, Teo is asking this to the
To Halia?
Yeah.
Oh, a bounty, of course. That's what I do.
Can you give us any other details of this person?
She studies you for a very long moment. Clearly judging you and taking you in.
Teo stares back with a completely blank expression on his face.
She looks back at you, Alabaster. You, sir, seem to be one that is somewhat more readily understood. Is your friend here someone who could be trusted with such assignments?
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure my friends would be trusted. I mean, that's 1,000 gold. I can't see who would not want that.
Indeed, it is a prize.
I mean, we just did a job for like 50 gold, and they were eager beavers for that.
This one shall not be so easy. Catching this one alive will be harder. If you wish to accept the contract, the target's name is Dorian Crane. And if you see this one, handle him with care, Mr. Hawks.
Can I do a history or perception check to see if I recognize this name at all?
Go for it.
Which would you prefer?
Roll a history check. Okay. You don't know this name. It's unfamiliar to you.
After a second thought, I think a bounty hunting job wouldn't be for us. We are more of explorers, tomb raiders, if you say. I just don't think bounty hunting would be our strong suit.
Teo raises his eye at Alabaster, just kind of, from what he has known of Alabaster so far, he's a little shocked that he's suddenly turning down this chance for such a large amount of gold.
It's a sudden shift, sir.
I was just thinking, we are a wizard, whatever Jellen is, and a monk. We don't sound like bounty hunters. Plus, we got the godly one with us. He'd probably be against that, too.
1,000 gold is quite a lot to pass on. Is it not?
We might consider this if we knew why they wanted to capture this person. For 1,000 gold, they must want them quite badly. Perhaps it's worth a little information to goad the potential capture of this person.
Well, also for 1,000 gold, it means that man is well connected. Do we really want that many enemies?
Or very dangerous.
Exactly.
I believe there are always enemies on all sides of a situation. He might have strong allies, but I believe his enemies are very strong indeed to offer such a bounty.
I mean, if you want to do this, Tale, we can. We could ask Jellen and Kellen and see how they feel about it. But I'm just saying, it doesn't seem like it's up our alley.
Not as ruthless as I thought, Mr. Hawks.
Oh, what scoundrel told you I was ruthless? I'm a kitten.
I heard you were one to be turned by coin. Perhaps I was mistaken.
Oh no, I do just about anything for coin. Putting my neck out there for some, villain, that's not smart.
And she just kind of studies you for a very long, slow moment.
And remember, I didn't say no. I said if the party wants to do it, I am very capable of doing this.
A bounty is a bounty. If someone comes in with this prize before you, then you've lost your opportunity.
If someone comes in with this prize before me, I would be very surprised.
Well then, it should be some time before we have the proper value of these stones. Would you like to wait or come back? We will keep them safe for you until you return, of course.
Teo steps forward suddenly and says, "Does this symbol mean anything to you?" And he holds up his palm, and there is almost like a burned marking on his hand, but it still has the blackish coloration of a single leaf.
She looks at it for a moment and then just kind of slowly shakes her head. This is unfamiliar. Where are you from?
Can I do a perception check to see if she was lying about it being familiar?
Sure. You feel like she's being honest about that?
I am from a place that tries to help people. If you do see anyone that has a mark like this, if you would be so kind to let them know that there is someone perhaps looking for them. And I do think we could talk to our party about this bounty, perhaps. And then Teo kind of takes some steps back.
Okay.
Behind Alabaster.
Well,
We
then,
shall return when you are done appraising our stones.
you see her just kind of pull some paperwork back over and kind of puts her head down and gets back to the business she was about before you came in.
Alright, so I think Alabaster. I was gonna say goes back to the inn for a drink, but I think he'll go find the brothers.
So as you guys, let me do this. Oops. No. There's so many playlists going on here. So as you do make your way back towards the center of town here, as you're walking up the center of town, you and Teo both see, and I would say that Jellen and Kellen are also kind of going through the center of the square at this point. And as you guys are kind of going through the square, you know, you guys, Alabaster and Teo are a little bit behind. You see the brothers up ahead of you kind of walking into the square, and you're still down the road a little bit. And you guys all see that there seems to be a squad of temple guards that are in the square. They seem to be outside of the Stonehill Inn. And as you guys get a little bit closer, you suddenly see this man in black robes trimmed with gold just come unceremoniously flying out the front door to tumble in a heap out in front of the Stonehill Inn. And you see these two guards immediately rush to help him, and then two more guards rush inside the inn. What would you guys like to do?
Alabaster's not going to get involved in this.
Teo looks at what's going on and he says, Alabaster, you don't think we should see about this? The innkeeper there, they have been quite kind to us so far. If there's trouble going on, I'd like to see if we could help, perhaps.
Wait, was this the innkeeper they tossed? I thought it was just a guy in black robes.
No, it's a guy in some black robes. You do know that he does have Guglug inside there, his bouncer. You know that you had left Dale behind in there as well, and then some regular tavern regulars, patrons.
Can I tell who it is?
I'm sorry, you guys are both talking.
I was just saying, can I tell who it is?
You don't recognize him. Nobody in the party recognizes this person.
But Teo, this is none of our business. He's probably some lowlife. But if you wish to go interrupt these temple gods, be my guest.
All of you guys roll a perception check.
I honestly thought I was the 8.
Jellen and Kellen can roll perception checks as well.
I wasted my good perception check in the last encounter.
That's true.
Jellen doesn't notice anything around him.
Jellen's not looking, okay. Jellen's not in the space for noticing things. Alright, hold on, I'm just fixing the camera real quick, like. Alright, so is Kellen gonna roll at all?
Yeah, just all the dice block the thing.
You should just be able to click in the window and it'll make him go away after a few seconds. Okay, so I would say that both Kellen and Alabaster would notice that the robes that this guy is wearing seem to be some sort of like vestments, like from a holy order.
Does he have any clear symbols?
Not that you can see with the 15. I'd say you're probably just shy on the 19 as well, just because of the distance.
Not that Alabaster knows what gods are earning.
Sure.
So I just, say, Teo, if you want to get involved, be my guest. I've got your back.
Teo casually walks over to one of the guards in the back of the row and tries to inquire as to what's going on. What's What's happening in the inn here?
It's none of your business. Move along.
You're not. Are you here on the behest of Harbin Wester or on a legitimate concern?
Well, after I run away from the order. It's none of your business, I said. And as you get closer, you do suddenly notice on these guys, on their shields, as well as on their clasp on the cloak that they have as well, you recognize the same symbol that you've seen on Dell. On these guys.
Teo looks around to see if he can see Dell anywhere.
Dell.
Teo walks back over to so are Kellen and Jellen with us also at this point?
Yeah, I'd say you guys kind of walked up to join Kellen and Jellen in the square.
These people have the same markings as Dell. Has anyone seen Dell?
You and Alabaster were the last ones to see him in the inn, inside the inn. The door is open. If you guys want to.
Teo wants. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna go inside the inn and see if I can see what's going on.
Okay. Is anybody else going to go in with him?
Oh, Alabaster's got Teo's back, so he's right alongside him.
Okay. Kellen's going to go too. Jellen
Yes.
just numbly following behind his brother. Okay. So as you guys do, excuse me, as you guys do make your way inside, you can hear heightened voices already, and you can see that Dale is standing. As you first enter, you see that Guglug is kind of standing there, and he looks like he's ready to intercede. But you could see that these two guards, he seems a little hesitant at the same time, and you could see that these two guards are kind of standing behind Dale. And you could see that he's got his back to these two guards, and he seems to be ignoring them despite their heightened voices and the hands on the pommels of their weapons. And the first one says, "Well, are you the one we've been looking for then? Are you Delmere?" You see Del just kind of take this long drink of his ale. Piss off. And the other one kind of elbows him. He says, "Hi, that's him all right. Seems as though you've been shirking your duties, Mir. Trying to find your lost love, is it? Going against the bishop's orders is suicide, Mir. Now you've gone too far with what you've just done to Deacon Gilman over here. Should have you heard myself. You hear me, Mir?" And as he says this, he kind of claps his hand roughly down on Dell's shoulder. And
Teo out, "Hey there, Sven," at Dell.
as you're kind of starting to speak up, even as you're just starting to say the words, as this hand kind of lands roughly on Dell's shoulder, you see him suddenly just kind of straighten up, and you just hear this voice come out of him. He says, "My name is Asmodel Empyrean Sorath Mir, and you shall not touch me again or dissuade me from my path." And you see, as he is saying this, that his eyes begin to shine with this bright white light, tinged with gold, as this crown of golden fire suddenly bursts to life above his head. You see these great glowing white wings suddenly burst from his back. You see that they are tinged with gold, and as he arches himself backwards, you see that he flexes these great wings wide to the side. You see these two temple guards immediately step back in shock, and then immediately fall to one knee with heads bowed. And you see Del turn around with this look of intense anger, and suddenly you see that Adabra is beside him, and you see her stare up at him with this gaze of understanding. And after a moment, you see Dell kind of shake his head, and it almost immediately seems to calm. And a few moments later, you see this crown and these wings and the glowing eyes start to fade away as Dell takes a deep breath, looking down at these two guards kneeling before him. As he sighs long and loud, and he finally looks up at the party. He says, "I cannot continue with you. I must return with them to face what I have done. I'll rejoin you.
What
when I
have you
can."
done?
He kind of looks over at you, Alabaster. He says, "I left my order against the orders of the Archbishop himself. I have come forth." And he kind of looks over at the guard that was kind of taunting him. And he stops talking for a moment, and you see him just kind of hold out his hand. And you see this light appear in the palm of his hand. Until you recognize this light, and those of you that were sitting at the table earlier recognize this light as it kind of just manifests in his palm. And you see it just kind of rapidly changing through these colors as it's floating above his palm. He says, "I'll need your help. Please find my Laundria." And you see this light float out of his hands, and it kind of floats over towards you. And you see
And
it
then
just...
he picked up his phone.
Yes, that wasn't mine. You see this light kind of float over towards you, and it just starts kind of, actually it kind of hovers up first, and you see it turn this deep red. And it just kind of floats around in front of Dell for a moment, and then it kind of floats over towards the party, and you see it as it's floating over, it kind of turns into this very deep blue color, and you see the light itself just get very dim. But it just kind of hovers and floats near you guys.
So you want us to find your squeeze?
That'd be the short version. Oi.
And what does this lot over here plan to do with you?
I must answer for leaving against orders. What they do with me is their will, as the order decrees.
Well, I understand that. And with that, Dell notices that I've got my crossbow loaded underneath my jacket. Are you sure you want to do that?
It's not worth it, lad. This is something I would have to do eventually anyway. And I'll not have these men harmed.
I will abide by your wishes then. And then with a click, I just set my crossbow back down inside my jacket. So, if we do find your lady, how will we bring her to you?
I don't know. Do not know what to expect. I only know that she lies beneath the place where the dragon has made its home. Not an easy task.
I don't know. Are we even going that way? Because it's a dragon.
If you do not wish to help, I understand. This is not something I should ask of anyone.
It's not that. I mean, any of us would want to help you, Dale. It's a dragon.
What now? We're hoping we can fight a dragon?
Oh, are you just walking in?
I was. You saw the wings and the fire and the crown, right?
I don't believe
Yes.
that was Jellen with us earlier, Alabaster. Kellen, I don't believe, was with us for Dell's reveal earlier.
I came in right at the end of it.
Yes, it was a great trick. You will have to show me that one day.
Trick, but. I don't think that was a trick. That was. What the hell?
You really think our Dell here is some type of angel?
I didn't say he was an angel. I don't know what the fuck he is. I didn't say angel. You said angel. I just want to know what the hell just happened.
And you see a kind of a small smile on Dell's face as you guys say this. And he says, "It's been an honor traveling with you."
Wait, you're leaving us?
Don't have a
I
choice.
don't think the guards are going to give him a choice.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Don't have a choice, little one. I must atone for my misdeeds, as any man with honor must do.
I guess that's true. Man, today has been a weird day.
You lot take it safe out there.
I will look for your lady. If we come across her, I will make sure she gets to you.
Teo just nods as he says this.
He nods back to you guys, and he starts walking out of the inn. And as he's walking by Jellen, he just kind of pats him on the head, and then just gives him a pat on the back as he passes him. He says, "You keep your brother safe, lad." And he just walks past and outside. And as you see him get outside, you see him actually lean down over Deacon Gilman, and you see the priestly magic emanate from his hand. And you see the deacon wake up, kind of shakes his head, and he looks at Dell in fear for a moment, and Dell kind of helps him up and says, "I'm ready to go with you." And the deacon just still kind of with this fearful look on his face just kind of looks at the guards around him and then just kind of like turns and start walking. And the guards start to motion to grab Dell by his arms and put some kind of manacles on him. And you see them just kind of stop and just change their minds and he just starts walking. And as they kind of lead him out of town, you guys see Thistle come running up to you. He says, "Oh, well, perfect. Everything's ready to go. If you guys are ready to go, we got the carts all loaded up, and we got Vincent all laced up and everything. And well, the boss says you got to bring Vincent back. You know, and the cot too. Is it that's okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey, and he kind of gets this kind of a shy look again, and he looks over at Teo, and he says, I don't mean to be weird, but can I see the ears again?"
Teo kind of stares back a little bit, shakes his head just slightly with a little bit of a smile, and walks off towards the cart.
Aww. And you see him kind of go running off into towards Barthen's provisions. And so you guys do make your way over there, and you see that this cart is indeed laden with provisions for Tibor Wesker, who is the brother of Harbin Wesker. And you see that there is indeed an ox kind of laced up to this cart, apparently by the name of Vincent. And as you guys kind of make your way off and out of town, let's cut on over to our next little scene here. So you guys do make your way through the forest of Neverwinter for quite some time, and you're traveling for quite a few hours. Through the woods, there is a trail for you guys to follow. So you don't get too lost with this cart. On the way there's a few twists and turns, and you kind of have to backtrack a couple of times, not knowing the way. But eventually you guys do make your way to the logger's camp. I'll go ahead and activate that for you. So, let me get you guys onto this map. You'll find yourselves down at the bottom part of this map here in the south, on the road there. And let me see. So you do see that this logging camp spreads along the south shore of this river, and you can see that there are, a good dozen or so tents arranged on the sandy beach and around what look to be some older cabins. You do see that there is a cabin with logs stacked under an awning. There is the cabin still kind of in the center of this logging camp. And you also see that there seem to be some older cabins that have been torn down to only really leave some chimneys kind of dotting the landscape here. So what would you guys like to do? You don't see any signs of anybody here.
Seems a little quiet.
Yeah, especially for this is a logging camp, right? I think
Indeed.
here, lots of axe hitting wood or people in general.
I agree. Cutting timber and milling it is never really a quiet process.
And you definitely do not hear the normal sounds that you would associate with a logging camp. You don't hear the sawing of lumber, you don't hear milling, you don't hear anything like that.
I'm gonna turn to Sebastian. Even though I can talk to him in mind, I still talk to him like, turn to him even though I don't say anything out loud and say, do you smell anything strange? Blood or maybe the scent of orcs or anything like that?
Oh, with all this rain, sir, it is quite difficult to really pick up anything.
Oh, that's right. We should probably be pretty careful.
Perhaps I should stealth ahead for us a little bit. Can Sebastian scout out ahead of us at all? Asking Teo and Kellen.
Mm-hmm. Sebastian, you mind scouting with Teo?
Oh, not at all, sir. Well,
Alright.
it's quite wet out here, but I'm sure my fur will dry, eventually. Okay, so go ahead and move Sebastian wherever you would like him to go. Where are you guys going to go explore? Go ahead and roll stealth checks if you would like to be stealthy.
Teo.
Teo looks back. Yes, Jellen.
Jellen's riding on Boomer, and he walks forth a little over to Teo, and he gives Teo the sending stone that he had on him.
Okay.
And he just nods to Teo.
Teo nods back.
There you go. You are riding the Boomer. Okay. So you do give him that sending stone, and you would know that you're able to send and receive messages to whoever is holding the other one of those stones. As you are also able to do with Sebastian. So, we got a couple of 14s, it looks like, over here.
Teo got a 16 and Sebastian got a 14.
Oh, is Alabaster going as well?
No, that's just Alabaster
Just
Like,
being stealthy?
being stealthy.
Okay.
He just always wants to be stealthy.
Just watching where I step.
It's true. Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and move out to wherever you guys would like to go. It does seem to be quite empty and kind of eerie, doesn't it, sir?
Now that I can see more camps, can I do a perception. Do I see any sign? Like, does it look like it's been recently vacated, or does it look like there was activity not too long ago?
Let's see. So you can see that there is a dead campfire surrounded by 6 tents. From this distance, I'm going to get a little bit closer.
Yep. No, so yeah, Sebastian, it's really creepy as I'm busy apparently being left alone as I'm looking through Sebastian's eyes.
Okay. So go ahead and roll investigation checks. The two of you that are a little bit closer, Sebastian and Teo.
Since I'm looking through
Not good.
and can direct Sebastian, can I use my investigation instead of his?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Why is the Maestro not working? I have the Maestro app in there, I promise. If you're watching.
Yeah, I was expecting some music for my critical fail there.
Let's see.
What is it with my sound?
I know, there should be music. Come on now. I promise you I have my Maestro working. They only allow me to post in their Discord if I have their stuff working. Alright, so that investigation's pretty good from Kellen, not so much from Teo. So Kellen, as you're getting a little bit closer here, Sebastian's kind of walking up. You can see that there seem to be footprints around this campsite. It is definitely kind of sandy. And you can see that there are very strange marks in the sand. And they seem to be suggesting that several humanoids were attacked here. And almost look like they have been drug away through the sand. And you can see that it looks like by the marks on the tents and some of the logs that are around this campfire, it almost seems like they look like they've been kind of eaten away by something. The tents themselves.
Like literally eaten, or like eaten away by fire or acid?
Roll an intelligence check. Or investigation. Kellen's the only one that really noticed this, by the way. Actually. Which... the dice decided to back that up right there. So Kellen is the one that kind of noticed this, these marks in the ground and the sand, as well as this these tents here. Teo was studying the chimney sticking up out of the ground in the other direction.
Trying to see. I don't think I can talk through my cat.
Teo uses his speaking stone back to Jellen. Are you near Kellen? Does Sebastian see anything I don't?
I believe that Kellen might have the other speaking stone.
Oh, does he?
Oh, wait, do I?
We never spread them out. Just the last time we used them, Kellen had one and Jellen had one.
That's true.
That's fine.
That's true. Forgot about that. All right, so yeah, okay, then yeah, I can. I guess.
You would hear this voice in your mind that is not Sebastian.
Yeah, I have. There's a moment where my body sort of starts, and then that sparks the memory of the fact that I have the stone, and sort of blindly fumbling since I can't actually see right now. Eventually, I find the stone and pull it out and press it up like a cell phone almost, and say, "Oh, right, totally forgot I had this. I thought Jellen did." Right. Sebastian says the tents are I think, what was it? Some recent trouble has happened here. It looks like there's been a scuffle, and the tents are not looking so good. Like they've been eaten away. 1 second, and then I have
Teo's initially a little startled to hear Kellen's voice instead of Jellen's.
have Sebastian get closer to get a better view of if I can tell how the tents were eaten away.
Okay. As you get a little bit closer, you can tell that there seems to be some kind of a discoloration that's not from the rain. It does look like the edges almost just melted, not burned.
Yep. Okay, then yeah. Seems like it's something melted through the tent, not burned or torn or anything. Definitely something probably acidic. There, Teo.
Okay.
Teo is going to. Is there a hole in the tent that I see? Like, did this whatever melting through it actually like make some holes in the tent itself?
Oh yeah, it looks like it's been eaten away.
Can I peer inside to see what I see inside the tent?
Sure. As you do look inside this tent, you could see that it looks like a bunch of sand has been kind of pushed out, and you could see that it seems to be kind of, burying some of the bedding and stuff that's inside there, and you could see some blood as well, and it almost looks like the blood is kind of going down towards the center of where the sand has been pushed away, and it almost looks like it's almost like a circular depression that was left.
Teo is going to quickly shuffle over and stand on one of the nearer logs that I see.
Okay. All right. So, hold on a second. As you start moving towards these logs, you suddenly feel this rumbling, this vibration, and in front of you, you suddenly see this explosion, this spray of dirt and debris as this insect-like head bursts out of the ground. You see these huge mandibles on this insect-like creature. You see these kind of claw-ended legs pulling themselves out, and you see this monstrosity suddenly roar at you as it attacks you with its mandibles. And it is going to try to bite you.
I kind of suspected something might be coming. Can I try to dodge?
Let's do this. Let's go ahead and we're going to have one round of combat, and then everyone else can jump in on the second round. Okay?
AKA surprise.
Go, crit bait, go!
Go, crit bait, go! It's not that good. Go ahead and roll that initiative, sir. How come Teo always walks in first?
I mean, without Lenera here, he's kind of the tank, especially with Delgon.
Ouch. Yeah, you guys just lost some beef. That's for sure. All right, so he is going to go first. I'm going to go ahead and start that combat. Let's get ready.
Monk have such good armor. Why wouldn't they go first?
It's true, and it is going to immediately, you see it just kind of, and it just lunges at you to take a bite.
Oh, that was creepy. That was cool. That was great.
Oof, I'm guessing that an 8 is going to miss.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so it does take a bite at you. It does not. It only gets one action, so there you go. Okay, Go ahead and take your turn, sir.
Can I move and do an attack for this initial round?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna kind of leap backwards a bit away from this thing and chuck a javelin at it.
Okay. It is going to get an opportunity attack at you.
Oh, right. I forgot about that part. Then I'm just gonna, since I'm right next to it, I'm gonna just react really quickly, and I'm gonna pull out my pull of collapsing and kind of yell Excelsior as I press the button, and it flips into a length and take a swing at this thing.
Go for it.
Jellen snaps to attention.
That's
Yes,
partially why Dan yells this as loudly, hoping that Jellen will hear the Excelsior.
You guys definitely do hear this exploring of Earth. You hear this chittering sound coming from up above you or up ahead of you, and then you definitely do hear your friend cry out his battle cry. 19's
Does a
gonna
19 hit?
Yes, sir. Okay. For 5 points of damage.
Teo kind of uses the momentum of the pole itself, shooting out to kind of whack this thing really good. And then I am going to do my bonus action, take another hit at this thing. And I was reading it earlier. Is it right? I can use a monk weapon for my bonus action unarmed attack?
Yeah.
It's kind of what I was reading. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, so I'm going to take another hit with the pole collapsing then.
Yeah, the flurry of blows just has to be the unarmed.
I thought it had to be unarmed and.
Oh, for the bonus attack?
The bonus
Yeah.
attack has to be unarmed.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It does have to be unarmed.
But your unarmed strikes count as monk weapons, I think.
Well, that's what it said. It said when I was reading it in D&DBeyond, at least, it says for a bonus action, the unarmed strike can be either just an unarmed strike or with a monk weapon.
Right.
Oh,
That's what I
is
thought.
that something cautious?
No. I'm pretty sure that's just the way it has been.
They did add something into Tasha's from an earlier UA that says if you use a key point on your action, then you can use a strike on your bonus. I don't know if anything else has changed.
No,
As far
monks
as,
have always gotten a bonus action.
Yeah, no, they get a bonus action strike, but as far as I remember, you can't use a monk weapon. You have to use your unarmed strike.
Unarmed strike, that's what I thought so too.
I'm
So
gonna
martial
say,
arts, you use attack action with an unarmed strike or monk weapon on your turn. You can make one unarmed strike as a bonus action.
okay. Roll an unarmed strike.
Okay, yeah, just thought I just wanted to clarify because in the D&D Beyond it says when you use the attack action with if I use the attack action with an unarmed strike or a monk weapon on your turn, you can make one unarmed strike as a bonus action. Oh, right, okay,
Right.
that's where I got
That's fine.
there.
Let's go ahead and move on. So unarmed attack.
Okay, so from Tasha's as an optional feature at 3rd level, you can spend a key point to make a bonus action attack
With the weapon.
With a weapon,
But you gotta use a key point to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The main point is that it's you can do it. You can use that. You can make that attack using your key point without having to take the attack action. So, like, you could have dodged and then used the key point to strike out
Sure.
instead of it being based off your attack action.
Just another 5 points of damage.
Yep, and then I'm gonna use my movement to try and disengage here, and I'll go ahead and take that opportunity attack.
Okay. So it is going to try to lash out at you as you try and move away from it.
It's so creepy hearing that noise every time it attacks.
It's a 14 hit.
No, it does not.
Okay. So it misses you as you move away from it. So where we're 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to there. Is that going to be the end of your turn?
Yes.
Turn on this battle music just a little bit. All right, so who else wants to join in and get in a little combat here? I know.
Jellen
Zeke's
rushing
over
in
there
on
like,
the-
me, please. I know, buddy. I'm trying to get you in here, I promise.
I'm just happy I can see myself on the board now. No, it's great. It's a
Go. All right. All right. So everybody else, if you know how to do it, you can right-click your token and just hit the shield and the cross swords, and it'll add you to the turn marker.
Oh, again, are we having Sebastian go like immediately as my turn, on my turn, or does he get a
Yes.
separate
Any
turn?
pets or familiars are going to go on your turn.
Gotcha.
They do not need an initiative roll. Okay, Teo. The last, buddy. That is going to start us off with Alabaster. You hear this happening up ahead of you.
I just can't believe I'm going first with a 13.
Low rolls. Low rolls.
So Alabaster's gonna run up a little bit.
Okay.
He's gonna take a pop shot at that bug.
All right. A 14 is just enough to hit. For 5 points.
5 damage. Yep, so I pull the crossbow out, and I take a fire, and I try to hit him right in that mouth. But I just barely hit him.
Okay, and you see it does kind of dig into the chit, and you can see that this creature does seem to be very well armored naturally. But your bolt does find a spot to kind of plunge through into the creature. You hear it kind of chitter out this scream of pain.
And with my bonus action, I'm going to take another shot at him.
Okay.
Quick question. Shouldn't the your turn thing come up, or is that no longer a thing?
No, I disabled that.
Okay.
Because when it was coming up on my turn, that was like all that you could see. And then the people watching at home couldn't see anything but your turn. Oh, look at that nat 1. Wait, hold on. I gotta do this because this thing is slacking tonight. That's annoying.
See if I can roll a 100 again.
Hold on a second. Hold on. See, it's not as awesome when I have to play it. But since I do have to play it, I'm good. Does it play? Oh, the hell. I hate this thing. It's broken! It's broken, I say. One of the few times that it's failing me. Okay, we'll get that fixed. Hopefully. Okay, so there is a nat 1 that's happened here, and you know what happens when we have a nat 1, don't you?
God, I saw that 00 and got scared.
You know what happens.
A 4.
You know what happens when there's a nat 1. You gotta roll a 1d100, and it looks like you got that 4, so we are going to... Roll me a dex check, buddy.
Oh, good God.
So where it says 1d4 rounds, or 1d6 rounds, that is not applicable. That is only going to be for 1 round. I thought that was way too OP. So and it's going to be your flat dex. There's no bonuses or minuses to that, so it's just your flat dex score, which I'm guessing is probably like a 16 or so, right?
Yeah, so I rolled way under it.
Rolling that 7 is definitely going to be under your dex, so you do not slip, or you're not stunned. You do slip, and so you're going to be prone, but you're not going to be stunned. So as you kind of pull up, you kind of step in like a little patch of mud, and you just kind of go down a little bit from this mud as you're taking the shot. Definitely embarrassing.
Yes, I'm humiliated.
Okay. And is that the end of your turn, sir?
That's the end of my turn.
All right, let's go right to Kellen.
Actually, let me say something real quick. Since I still had... No, I can't move because it takes half my movement to get up, and I've already spent more than half to move. Darn. I should have stepped 1 step more. Nah. All right, my turn's done.
Okay. Kellen, you see this gigantic insectoid creature looming over your little cat person, your little cat friend.
Yep. And it's one of those moments like I'm a short guy already. I'm used to things towering over me, but even reducing it to a four-legged cat and looking up at him, like yeah. I immediately let go of the spell that channels my senses through my familiar, and give myself a shake before charging forward.
Okay.
Charge right there. That's my 25 feet. And while I move forward, Sebastian, of course, backs. I think as a. What is Sebastian's speed? So used to Sebastian being an owl. I'm gonna check his speed again as a cat. Alright, he doesn't have as much speed, but he's super fast. Sebastian is just gonna immediately dash back over towards.
Okay. Quit trying to snake dance on everybody, Nightwish.
She's incorrigible.
Noticed.
As Sebastian gets over here, I'm gonna go ahead and that book I normally keep between my back and my backpack is gonna flip around to the front. And the way I've rigged it up is sort of like a harness so that the book can flip open. And think of the guys at baseball games, whatever, the little box with the hot dog stand. The book's out like that in front of me now.
Okay.
A little green box. And as I do the pages flip. And then as I do it, flips to my magic missile spell. And I'm going to begin speaking words of arcane power in Gnomish. And as I do, the words and the formula for Gem's arcane missile will float upwards, coalesce into 3 magical darts, and fly off towards the creature.
Okay.
Wow, where'd you get that book?
Was not paying. I didn't hear a single word of it.
Roll a 1d6 for me.
1d6, okay.
Okay.
Got a 5.
Okay. Let's do. Let me now roll a 1d6.
Spells.
Dell's here.
Anything?
It's just on me for some reason.
Jim's magic missile, fire. 1 attack. 21 to hit for the first missile.
21's gonna hit.
He'll take 3 force damage, second missile, and third missile. Let's just get them out of the way. 11 and a 17 to hit for the next
17
two.
will hit.
1 more instance of damage. And an 8, so a total of 11 force damage from my magical missiles.
All right, and you see these magic missiles just plow into this creature, and you see huge bouts of like this greenish ichor kind of spurt out of this creature. As you cast this magic, you suddenly see this puff of like blue eldritch, almost like smoke-like energy just erupt all around you, and all of a sudden you find yourself standing way over here on top of this stone. It's kind of like a stone foundation. And you find yourself standing next to this chimney, much further away from where you were just a moment before.
What? Wait, we're not close. What just happened? That is my turn, as I am flabbergasted by my sudden transportation.
Okay. That is going to take us to Mr. Jellen. You know what I did forget to do is turn back on that combat music, because we're gonna fight, boys. Let's do this. All right.
Jellen readies an action to fire off his crossbow.
Okay.
He gives Boomer the order to dash.
Okay.
Boomer goes immediately after Jellen, and Boomer moves.
You should be able to just drag and select. Is to here. What's the movement on Boomer? 30?
Boomer is 40.
40? Okay. So it's 30 to here. So you would have 10.
That
feet.
measured out to 25.
10, 15,
Nope, you're right.
Yeah, 30 to here. There we go. Perfect. And so you're just readying a crossbow attack?
Well, because Boomer goes immediately following Jellen's turn, in order for Jellen to attack after Boomer moves, it has to be a ready to action.
Right.
So he moved there. Let's see. He told Boomer to dash, so Boomer is going to move right there.
Okay.
And then Jellen is going to fire off a bolt.
Okay. Perfect. He's gonna hit.
Damage.
Jeez Louise. Okay. 13 damage. How the heck did you do that with a crossbow?
I hit the max damage of 8.
Nice.
It's an enhanced crossbow for +1, and it uses my intelligence modifier as a battlesmith's for +4.
That's awesome. So as you stop and you kind of pull your light crossbow up, you take a shot and you see this bolt just launch over, and it just kind of lands right in this creature's eye. And you see it kind of just rear back and like make this chittery kind of roaring noise. And you see it just kind of flop over outside of the ground, kind of sticking halfway out of its hole.
Hey, are you okay?
I think we're all right. What happened to Kellen? I saw a puff of smoke back there and he disappeared.
I'm over here. You were right about the smoke.
Kellen, what happened?
And you do see that your brother has just suddenly kind of manifested himself halfway across this lager camp here.
I think there was a surge of wild magic. Oh, it's not treating me right.
Is that something you've done, or is that something in the area?
I'm pretty sure that's something just in the area. The formula was right and everything. Yeah, no.
Well, shit.
Okay. And anyone want to... What do you guys want to do? I'm not going to make suggestions. What do you guys want to do?
I run back over towards the group, first of all.
Okay.
Meeting Sebastian next to, I stay like 5 feet, keep a 5 foot space in between me and my brother, so Sebastian doesn't end up immediately next to his maybe new minion.
Hey, I haven't heard what's going on. What's going on? Why were you attacked?
I think this is a creature that lives in the sands. It appears it's popped out of the ground from what I can see. I think it's whatever these things are, they may be responsible for why this logging camp seems vacated. Although I'm interested why Kellen was teleported in that direction. I kind of have the feeling that we should maybe run that way, maybe.
No. It's wild magic. This area has some history of it, I believe. If I remember my studies right.
When Teo says that he believes this creature came from underground, as he was saying that, Jellen was halfway through dismounting off of Boomer, and he stops, and then he gets back up on him.
This is wise.
You got room for two?
No, medium creature, only for small.
Roll perception checks.
Jellen was going to go investigate the dead Angak.
Okay. Alabaster, don't see nothing. Okay.
Can I walk up towards the shore, towards some of those log decks that it looks like I see? Or the chimney, I guess. That's kind of what I want to go near, is that chimney.
Okay.
But not
As you are walking in that direction, you suddenly feel this rumbling, some tremors, but they seem to be at a distance. But you almost feel as if there's still something moving in the earth.
I have a feeling we should all maybe get off of the sandy ground. These things seem to travel through the sand pretty easily, from what I could tell.
Jellen's looking through the remains of the Angak.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an investigation check. What's
He
everybody
puts
else going to
down-
be doing? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Jellen puts down his goggles, activating guidance.
Okay. What's Alabaster doing?
Alabaster will carefully walk through this area. I'm like so nervous to step on the wrong spot.
Go ahead and roll stealth checks. Kellen, Alabaster.
That's a 21 total on investigation.
Okay.
Stealthy.
Oh, 23. You see, as you're kind of digging through this NK, you definitely recognize that this chitinous shell that's on the creature seems to be some pretty nicely sized pieces. You feel like you know if you were able to harvest enough of this kind of material, you might be able to do something pretty cool with it. As you're kind of digging into the creature, you also realize that there seems to be some sort of a gland within, just below the neck area of this creature, and it seems to have some sort of a very just like an acrid scent to it. You want to dig into it a little bit more?
This thing is gross.
And Jellen just walks away.
Okay.
As my brother walks away, saying this thing is gross, I'm just sort of nodding along. And then as he moves away, I quickly summon that new wonderful quill and just test to see if I can actually write on a living being, or used to be living being. So just quickly think of the color red, just write on it Boomsparkles will here.
Right.
And it's it totally works, and it's just okay, this is cool.
So on the carapace of this Ankai, as it's sitting here, you see this red penis just appear on the shell of this creature as Kellen draws a dick on it.
All right, I'm done with that.
Okay.
Walk away.
He didn't really do that, viewers. I'm just kidding. They're out there. Oh, he's a terrible man. All right, so You do walk away. Go ahead and roll a stealth. Did you roll that stealth check for Kellen? You did. That 11.
Yep, got an 11.
Nice 11 for you. Okay. Okay. And where was Alabaster headed to? As you're looking around, Teo, since you said you were going towards the water, you do see that there seems to be a ship out on the river, and it seems to be docked just at the end of this dock that kind of seems to be stretched out into the water.
Teo sees this and looks around at the destruction of the camp and calls over to, looks like Alabaster's maybe the closer one to me. Perhaps we should check out the ship, see if there are any survivors out there. If these things were coming up through the sand, maybe some people fled to the ship.
That is a very wise assessment.
Okay. Alabaster, you suddenly feel rumbling beneath your feet.
Oh, shit.
And that, my friends, is going to be where we take that 8 o'clock break. So everybody out there that is watching, go ahead and have a little patience with this. We're just going to take a quick break, grab some fluids, use the restroom, any of that kind of stuff, and we'll be right back in a very short break, and we'll continue and see what Alabaster has stumbled into here. We'll be right back. All right, we are right back into this thing because I know some guys that want to get their characters eaten and roll new characters for tomorrow, right? Yay! No? Not so much? Guys, you're taking all the fun out of it for me. Okay, so you guys, Alabaster, as you're walking, you do start to feel this rumbling kind of beneath you, and suddenly the earth does open up underneath you, and you're going to get attacked, my friend.
Oh, damn.
As suddenly you see this insect-like creature, this phase burst out of the soil near you as it just immediately lashes out at you with these mandibles. Again, I'm going to do that every time.
That is so cool and creepy.
I figured out how to attach audio files to weapon attacks, so if you guys want to find like really cool sound effects for your spells and weapons, let me know and I can attach those to your stuff. And every time you attack or cast that spell, it'll go blah, 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 and it'll be awesome. You,
I
sir,
dodge that like it's nothing.
You, sir, as this thing comes out of the ground, you see these mandibles just clamp shut, just where you were moments before, but you're able to kind of dance back and out of the way as this thing...
Is that a surprise attack?
It is a surprise attack. Oh, it gets advantage.
What that mean?
Oh, shit. Look at this guy selling you out.
I'm sorry, I'm a fellow DM. I gotta...
No, I appreciate it.
I did have a 26 stealth. No worries.
Didn't
See,
matter.
it was destined. Don't you feel better now?
I do.
Being honest.
It was destiny all the way around. All right, so
No.
that is going to initiate combat if the rest of you guys want to join in here. Go ahead and select your token, then do that right click and add combat. Or not add combat, but click the little sword and shield thing. There you go. Okay. We just need a tail.
Yeah, I'm trying the little sword and shield, right?
Yep, I
I'm
got
not
you.
popping.
I got you. Go ahead and roll that dice in that second. There we go. Perfect. All right. Thank you, Meister. I appreciate you dropping that combat music on us. All right, guys. It looks like Alabaster is going to go first. And you see this thing right at your feet.
What was that private roll for? I see host privately rolled some dice.
What happened?
Host privately rolled some dice. What's that about?
Oh.
Yoinks!
It's getting real.
Alright, Alabaster's gonna go. Oh! Oh, no, I didn't do that. But he's gonna take his rapier and just stab forward at that little bug.
Okay, go for it. There's a dad joke in every opportunity, I wish. There's always a dad joke available. That 9 is sadly not going to hit, though.
No, it's not. It was almost a 19.
Okay. You going to try and run away? You're going to attack it again.
I'm going to... I think it'd be on bar. Alabaster's gonna run. He's gonna take an opportunity attack, but he's gonna run.
Okay. Let's see how far you get. Oh, this one's gonna hit you. And as it does, you start running away from this thing, and it immediately just lashes out super quick with this insect-like speed. And these mandibles just grab around your waist and immediately grapple you. For 9 points of damage. And you, the rest of the party, you immediately see Alabaster just yoinked backwards, and you see this thing starting to pull him down into the sand. And you see him just clawing at the sand and screaming for help, I assume. And you see over here, Kellen, you suddenly see this another explosion of earth as this other insectoid monstrosity bursts out of the ground, and it kind of turns and it sees you, and then you see it disappear back down under the earth. And then a few moments later, you see the ground around you explode with earth showering upwards as you see this insectoid monstrosity burst out of the ground right next to you, and it immediately lashes out at you with these mandibles. I'm guessing that's going to be a hit.
Yep.
And you are also automatically grappled, and it does 11 points, big 11 points of damage to you, and it starts grabbing you and pulling you down into the sand in an attempt to make a meal out of you.
Yep. I let loose a shriek of pain and I'm scrambling.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. That attack on Alabaster was a freaking reaction. It should not have gotten that attack on you, so please add that damage back on there. That is 100% my bad. So you guys have not seen that second one yet, because it is not the monster's turn. That is 100% my fail. I attacked with the first one, and I just rolled into the second one, but that was a reaction attack on Alabaster, so that damage did not affect you.
Is he still grappled?
Alabaster is grappled. Kellen is not, and you guys have not seen that second creature.
So
Sorry.
Kellen didn't take any damage.
Kellen did not take any damage. That's totally my bad. Sorry about that. I can add that back on there for you. Oh, you got it? Perfect.
I got it.
Okay. All right, so that is, I looked at the turn order and I was like, wait a minute, what are you doing there, Indigo? All right, so it's at Jellen. And you do see that this Ankek up here is kind of pulling your friend down into the sand over where Alabaster is.
Okay, I think something might show up and attack my brother. Maybe I should station everything around him.
No, I'm not gonna let him. So
Thanks, buddy.
So Jellen is going to dismount from Boomer for half of his movement.
I promise I'm drinking coffee. Okay. You are no longer riding the puppy.
He takes a shot at the Ankag.
Okay. $14 is just enough to hit. Nicely done. For 7 big points of damage, Alabaster, as you're kind of feeling yourself being pulled under as you're grappled by these mandibles, you suddenly just hear this shook as a crossbow bolt just kind of lands into the side of this creature. It kind of like chitters out this response, but it does not let go of you.
And then Jellen says, Boomer, dash! And Boomer moves his, takes a dash action to get over to the Ankag that's got Alabaster.
Okay. It's getting tense here, guys. You could really use a cleric, I'm just saying.
That's 2 monsters you've had this campaign that's ate me.
That's true.
You're the one that sat in the mimic's lap, dude. I'm just saying. I mean, if I was a mimic and somebody sat on me, I would eat you too.
And that is Jellen and Boomer's turn.
Yes, sir. All right, that is going to take us right to Kellen. What would you like to do?
Let's see.
Without metagaming.
Yeah.
Damn
without
it. My fuck up. It's alright. I'll get good at this one day, guys. Don't worry about it.
I'm actually in just the right position. So, we are going to look at our spellbook once more.
Okay.
We're going to quickly flip through the pages until it gets to a different formula this time, a shorter formula. Once again, the words for the formula will sort of float off the page, turn sort of a greenish, brownish color, switching between the two, before it sinks into the ground, and then near the end, creatures that are creepy and crawly will burst forth and try to bite, sting, and claw the creature as I use infestation.
Okay.
Please give me a con saving throw.
Alright. Let's see.
Some bug on bug action.
It is 14,
Carpets.
however. They are not quite able to get any purchase with their bites and nibbles.
Yeah. Well, that is sucky. Besides that, let's see. We're going to have, first of all, get Sebastian to stop. Have Sebastian try and move around. We're right about there, and Sebastian's gonna take the hide action.
Okay.
So Sebastian's gonna hide behind or in between these sort of boxes over here,
Yes, sir.
so that he can. He's getting ready to be able to maybe pounce for the help action next turn. He's prepping
Is that
while
the end
staying
of your
safe. And yes, that's the end of my turn.
That is going to bring us to Teo. What would you like to do, sir?
First off, Teo yells, "These things are coming out of the ground! We need to get onto the dock or the ship!" And then I'm gonna throw a javelin at the one that has Alabaster.
Okay. Roll. Let's see. Roll a insight check for me. It's not a very good roll, sir. But this doesn't take a rocket scientist either. You kind of look around and you realize that the pad of this building is made of stone. And it seems to be very solid, thick stone. And you think that perhaps it may provide some sort of cover from these creatures.
It looks like the building could also be a suitable area to... I don't think they can burst through the ground there. It has a good foundation.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that attack. That is not going to be enough to hit.
I whiff it big.
Okay. Nightwish thinks you should start snake dancing, Quinn, and perhaps you'll get out of this horrible situation. So, there's that. Did you want to use a bonus action or anything else there, Teo? I'll start snake dancing. What's up? I'm not scared.
Yeah, I guess I'll run towards it then to try to get this thing off Alabaster.
Okay. Alright, so you run up next to this mechanical puppy and join in the fight, trying to save Alabaster from being drug underground.
And yeah, I don't think they're... Yeah, I guess because I guess I did attack on my action. So yeah, I can do an unarmed strike, right?
Yep. $12 is not going to be enough to hit. Sadly. Alright, so as you run up, you do try and kind of do like a flying kick or something as you're approaching this monstrosity, but it's already starting to pull your friend underground. Is that going to be the end of your turn?
Can I do a minor action and toss Alabaster a bit of my rope since I'm right next to him?
No, you'd have to kind of dig into your pack or unwind it around yourself or something like that to be a full action.
Alright, yeah, then I'm good.
Okay. Let's move to this guy. So, two things happen here, my friend. One is that you are going to automatically take some damage here. And I need you to roll against this grapple with either acrobatics or athletics if you would like to try and escape from being pulled all the way underground.
Yes, I'm gonna grab onto his mandibles and try to kick off.
Do you have any dice or inspirations left? It might be a good time to use those.
I don't notice any.
Oh, I'm sorry, it has advantage. It doesn't actually automatically hit you. So let me roll that.
As this attack is going to happen... Oh.
Okay. Yeah, what are you going to do?
Nothing now.
Nothing now. That's metagaming, sir. All right. Let's, so it actually doesn't. It's not able to do damage to you this round. So if you took off that damage, please put it back. But okay, it is still has you grappled. So go ahead and roll that acrobatics or athletics as you choose. Well, sir, that is quite the roll now, isn't it?
I just kick off of him.
Okay. Let's do...
It looks all cool, but it was actually done all in fear.
Okay. So you're able to kind of twist yourself, and you get out of these mandibles as they're clutching a hold of you, and you're able to claw yourself back out, and you're already about halfway in this depression, and you're able to kind of claw yourself back out and kind of roll out of it. You are going to be prone, but you have escaped the jaws of this creature and escaped from being pulled underground to be feasted upon. So good job with that. Over here, this guy does kind of pop out, does not see Sebastian where he is, and it kind of looks around, and it does see Kellen over there, and you see it kind of disappear back under the ground, and a few moments later it does burst out and attack Kellen where he is. And that is going to be a 20 to hit. This time we hit you for sure. And you feel these mandibles dig into you, and you feel yourself just immediately grappled by the mandibles of this creature, and you feel the acid from this creature just burning into where these mandibles have you punctured. And you feel your flesh burning and melting away for 16 points of damage.
I'm not looking good.
And he is trying to pull you under the ground to feast upon your flesh, my friend. That is not good. Let us do this. Oh, there you go. Okay. That is going to take us to the top of the order and one Mr. Alabaster.
Okay, so I'm going to use half my movement to stand up. Take a stab at the little buggy.
Okay.
Miss the little buggy.
Yeah, 9 is not going to quite do it.
Use my cunning action as a bonus action to disengage. And then move just half my movement away from him.
Okay. Alright, so you are able to kind of roll to your feet and taking a stab while you do so, and as you kind of back away from this creature to a safe distance. Isn't that the end of your turn?
And that'll be my turn.
Alright, that brings us right back to Jellen, and you hear this scream of pain from behind you, and you see your brother in the jaws of another one of these creatures, and it seems to be trying to pull him under the ground as well.
Jellen sees that and he immediately yells out, "Boomer, Protocol Alpha!" And you see Boomer perk up. And Jellen, let's see, is this log difficult terrain or what?
No, I'd say that's easy enough to get over.
Okay.
I know Nightwish has wished for your death so many times. Ugh. That's not how friends should be, Nightwish. You should stop that. She's like...
She just wants to see all my new character ideas.
That's alright. You don't have to listen to me. Don't let me tell you what to do.
Jellen's actually not going to move. he is going to take a shot at the Ankh who's attacked Kellen.
Okay.
And as he's doing so, he grabs his amulet on his chest, and he twists it, activating it, and balancing out time around him so that his roll is automatically a 10.
Okay.
So he automatically attacks for 15.
Okay. Finally coming into play. I like it. Okay.
Attacking the Ankh for 13 damage.
13 damage. As you are in the grasp of this creature, you hear a bolt just kind of burst through the carapace of this creature, just punching through the chitinous armor. And you hear it kind of chitter out in pain, but does not let go of you.
And then Boomer attempts to run away from this other Ankh.
Okay.
I don't know if it's already used its reaction or not.
I think that was last round. So it will try to get an attack at you. Does a 16 hit?
16 hits.
Okay, so Boomer is going to be grappled. Where he is. For 13 points of piercing and slashing and acid damage. And I don't think he screams out in pain, but you definitely notice Boomer in the jaws of this creature now.
And can I attempt to escape the grapple? I mean, if I'm grappled immediately and I haven't used my action, can I attempt to escape it?
Yeah, sure. That's what you get for drinking soy milk. Let's see. This thing is going to try and use athletics to hold on to you. And it's not going to do very well. Ooh, meets it, beats it, my friend. All right, so Boomer is able to kind of wriggle its way out of the claws of this creature. Just kind of slips on the metal shell, the outside of your construct.
And he's going to run over to the other Ankh.
Okay. He has used his action at this point.
And that's the end of the turn.
All right. That is going to take us to Kellen. You are in a dire situation, my friend. You are down to that last hit point, so you are definitely feeble and kind of weak at this moment.
Just trying to think of what to do here.
You feel like it will pull you under the earth on its next turn if you don't find some way out of its clutches.
Alright, so Sebastian, who is nice and hidden, is gonna run. Gotta save the day, I guess. Gotta click him first. Get right here and give me the help action. So just sort of, maybe meow or tap at the back of it to sort of give it a distraction so that I can have advantage on my strength check to get free. I'm definitely going to try to get free.
Okay. You going with strength?
I kind of have to.
Why wouldn't you be able to use Dex?
It's because the automatic grapple that they have, or whatever, it's a strength check to get out of it. When you're being grappled via the grapple action, you can use athletics or dexterity to resist. But in this specific situation, you have to use athletics to get out.
It doesn't say that. It just says escape DC 13. I've been letting everyone else use acrobatics too. So if you want to roll acrobatics instead, you definitely can.
All right. Normally it says strength check, but all right, I'm down with that. I'll use acrobatics.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, it doesn't say that specifically, so I'm gonna say it can go either way. That's fine.
Perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, right.
And it didn't really help.
Ooh, sadly. Okay.
I'm gonna die.
I wish. This is all your fault. I'm just saying. Okay. That's gonna be the end of your turn.
So is there a third brother?
Yeah, the third brother comes out of nowhere.
Too soon. Too soon.
Ironically.
Dell comes flying back down on his angel wings out of nowhere. All right.
Yeah, our third brother, Melon.
Yeah.
Melon Boomsparkles.
I don't have anything else I can do. I guess. I guess Sebastian will just retreat as he tried his best, but can't really help.
Okay. It actually can't attack anyone else while it has you grappled, so Sebastian's free to run.
Sebastian runs back behind the crates, and that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Teo, you hear your gnomish friend scream out in pain, and you see him also being threatened with being dragged underground here. No, Quinn is not dead yet. Jesus. She's firsthless.
Seeing this happen, I'm gonna try and dash on over to, or I'm just gonna use my movement, get over to next to Kellen in his situation there. I think exactly 40 will get me around the side of it over to him.
Okay.
Five,
5,
10, 15.
Yeah, 35 right there.
Okay.
And then I'm going to attack this Mamma Jamma with my staff.
Okay. Woo! That 24 is going to hit for sure. Okay. Nice done. Nicely
Jump
done.
up, come tearing in, jump up in the air, spin the staff around, and slam it down on this thing for hopefully some damage. Eight damage,
Points of damage.
and then I'm going to use a key point to do a flurry of blows, and for one of those, I am going to do my monastic touch on Kellen right next to me to give him some health.
Okay. Go for it. Nice. 22 is going to hit. Roll that damage and then roll that heal. Let's see what we get here. Oof, 4 points. Okay. Every little bit helps. All right. So go ahead and roll that martial arts die. And your wisdom modifier is what?
Oop, I think it's 3, so I think that's a total of 6. Let me double check that.
So as you jump over, you do kind of like a spinning twirl as you land down with your your pull of collapsing, and you smash very hard into this Ankeg. As you kind of continue your maneuver, you're able to kind of strike out at it, and then as you finish the spin, you just kind of place your hand down on top of a Kellen, as he's still kind of just struggling in this creature's grasp. And Kellen, you feel this surge of life, this surge of energy, this surge of health, as Teo manages to heal you for 5 points. Working against the direct desires of Nightwish.
And yeah, I guess that's my turn.
All right, good. Well done. Good job. Okay. And that is going to take us to the first of these creatures, and this one is going to be the one over here by Alabaster, and you see this creature kind of disappear back down into the ground, and suddenly, just mere moments later, you feel this rumbling as it again explodes out of the ground, threatening you.
And then Calcite shows up.
I mean, he's right there, guys. He's literally right there. So that 8 is going to miss you as it chomps.
Alabaster's like, no.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'm napping. Don't worry about it.
that's true. All right,
I gotta
so
bring the oil can.
that is going to be that creature's attack. And this creature that is holding on to Kellen cannot attack anyone else. So he is going to attack Kellen.
When it goes to attack Kellen, Boomer lets out a howl of sonic vibration and activates deflect attack, forcing disadvantage.
Okay. So it has an advantage on this attack, so forcing the disadvantage is going to make it a straight roll. Very
Yes.
well done.
And 8.
That 8 was to attack your other buddy over there. For you, we have a 19. Sad.
I'm dying.
And it is going to do 12 points, dropping you
Oh my
down
God.
to 0. You hear Kellen again scream out in pain, and you see this Ankek fully pull him underneath the soil. And it's going to be the end of his turn. That's going to take us to Alabaster.
All right. My poor friend. All right. Alabaster is going to be sad that he just escaped this bug and now it's right back in his face. Gonna stab at him.
Getting tense. Any of you guys have any dice rolls or inspirations left?
For 1 whole damage.
You do 4 points of damage. What are you talking about?
What's this thing directly behind me?
That seems to be like an awning, and it's over like a pile of wood. Seem to be some kind of an attempt to keep this wood dry.
So you can't just like walk over it.
No.
Okay, I am going to use cunning action to disengage.
Okay.
To there. That's 30. And that'll be my turn.
You could get all the way to here with 30 and be on top of that stone.
Alright, then I'm on top of that stone.
Just saying. Okay. So you do make it over with a dash, and you were able to kind of run over there and make it to this stone where Teo had previously mentioned that he thought maybe might provide some kind of protection from these creatures. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, that is my turn.
Okay. That is going to take us right to Jellen, and you see your brother disappear beneath the sand. This is a tough day for Jellen.
It's not funny.
Boomer Dag!
And that's going to be Jellen readying an action and telling Boomer to try to dig into the ground to find Kellen. He is going to move first. And Boomer is going to try to dig into the ground to find the Yank egg. Or more importantly, Kellen.
Roll investigation with advantage.
On Boomer?
Either one.
I'm doing it with Jellen because Boomer has a -3, I think.
That's a good call. 19. So as Boomer just dives in there, and he just immediately just starts hurling earth and sand out of this depression, you suddenly see this boot, the boot of your brother, sticking up out of the sand.
Just Luke.
There's no foot in it. No, I'm just kidding. the saddest way to go. I got his boot.
Jellen grabs the boot and he takes out a box from his knapsack and he takes the box out, puts it down for a second, and takes a funnel, jams it up in his pant leg, opens the box, dumps a bunch of machines into the funnel, so the machines crawl up throughout Kellen's pant legs while he's casting Cure Wounds on him, or Convalescent Utility Response Engineering.
Okay. All right, go ahead and cast that Cure Wounds. As all of these little bots immediately swarm up his pant legs, and they just start going to work. You're not really sure because you can't see, but you know you are very confident in your little bots and the work that they do. Kellen, you find yourself in complete darkness. You feel dirt and sand in your mouth, but you find yourself coming to consciousness, and you feel this insectoid body behind you kind of struggling. You still feel these mandibles around your waist, but you get 12 points of health back.
Damn. That's some effective healing. Now that delve has got nice.
I told you. Science!
I can't see my character tokens, so you'd have to heal me.
Okay.
I have no clue where I am, so you can heal me. Also, I might, scream in abject terror as I'm in an enclosed space and full of the mandibles of a fucking pancake.
Your mouth fills up with sand.
And I'm spreading. So much terror.
Okay. Is that the end of Jellen's turn? Very well done, sir.
That is the end of Jellen's turn.
Okay. Kellen.
When you regret not taking Thunderwave like everybody else.
Poor Zeke, he's a trooper. You're awesome, brother. You're such a trooper.
So sorry, Zeke.
No, it's all good, man.
I'm the third YouTube viewer today.
Hey, we got 6. You're the 7th. We got 6 people out there now. That's awesome.
Right on, lucky number 7.
Yep.
Thanks for hanging out with us, by the way. We definitely appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Seeing as the last time it did not work, trying to get free from this creature, and I don't have Sebastian to distract right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and full tilt this, as I'm going to use my 2nd level slot to cast Jim's Magic Missile. No, that's an attack roll. Here we go. Let's try this. Maybe this will help. You'll probably still have benefit. We're gonna go ahead and we're going to, even though the book is with me and it's a little squished, it's gonna seep through the pages and cover me as we're going to go ahead and cast Mirror Image.
Okay. Good idea.
And
yeah. How does that work with the grapple?
I'm still grappled, but any attacks have maybe hitting the image.
3 grappled.
So I'm still grappled. It doesn't stop the grapple.
Okay.
But any attacks. So if he tries to squeeze me, maybe the magic will kind of shift me just enough not to be squeezed, and it'll poof one of the images.
It's true.
Since they're constantly changing spaces. That's my defensive action because I can't really do anything else.
All right. So that is going to take us to Teo. And you do see Kellen's boots sticking up out of the sand here, but you don't see any sign of the sound kick.
I am going to collapse my pole and then stab it into the ground, kind of next to where I can see Kellen's boot, and activating it then again, shooting it into its length to see if I can punch the arc keg while it's underground with it.
Okay, I'd say that'd definitely be disadvantage. And it's probably
Yeah,
gonna
I figured.
have. I'm gonna say 3/4 cover on this one. Definitely not edgy. It does kind of plunge into the sand, but it doesn't feel like it really made connection with anything.
Can I try to pull at Kellen's boot?
You just
Or
have a
give him-
bonus action left?
Try to hold a help action or something like that to...
No, you
Yeah.
just used your action. But with the bonus action, I would say you could try and just grab a hold of his boot and maybe try and give him, advantage on an escape check or something like that.
All right, I'll do that.
Okay. So you definitely are able to, you kind of just jump down in there and you just grab a hold of his ankle. And Kellen, you do feel something kind of grab a hold of your ankle, even in the midst of all this other chaos that's kind of going on. Is that going to be the end of your turn, sir?
Yes.
Everyone's just leaving Alabaster to fight this thing all by himself. All right.
He's got a rock.
He's got a rock, but he's in a hard place. All right, so this thing does kind of disappear back down into the ground. And suddenly, Alabaster, you do see the earth kind of rumbling next to you as it comes back out of the earth next to you. Instead of the lightning quick strike that you have seen it do up until now, you see it suddenly just kind of rear back, and it just opens up its mandibles super wide in your direction. And you suddenly just see this spray. Oops. You suddenly just see this spray of this greenish kind of liquid just spurred out all over you. Go ahead and roll a DC 13 dexterity check. As you are able to get out of the way of this acid as it sprays towards you, you see it just kind of spatter all around the stone near you. You see it instantly start eating into this stone. And you see this monster just kind of chitter again at you, kind of roaring in frustration. So DC 13, you take half the damage on a successful save. So you are still going to get some splashed on your legs and whatnot, so you're going to take 4 points of that acid damage. You see it start kind of eating into your boots, eating into your pants, and into your flesh as well.
That was my good jacket.
Alright. And then you see this creature actually sink back down into the ground. Would you like to make an opportunity attack?
Most definitely. I didn't know that was possible.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna hit. As it is sinking away from you, you're able to lash out with your rapier and you stab deep into it for another big points of damage. You hear it roar out this chitinous scream as it disappears again beneath the soil. And that is going to be the end of that one's turn. Kellen, you suddenly feel the jaws of this creature release you. And you feel this movement away from you as you're still kind of buried in the soil, buried in the sand, upside down. And suddenly, just a few moments later, all of you see this thing burst out of the ground, and you see its mandibles open wide, and you see this spray of acid as it attacks Boomer, Jellen, and Teo. An acid spray. Everybody go ahead and roll a DC 13 dexterity check. Teo, Jellen, and Boomer.
That's a saving throw?
It is a saving throw, sir. Oof. 13 big points of damage. Boomer takes that 13. Teo does not. Jellen does not. Okay. So you guys are going to take half damage, which would be 6 points for Teo and Jellen. As this acid kind of splashes over, you're able to kind of get out of the way of it a little bit. Boomer does take the full blast of it, and that's kind of what protected Jellen and Teo from taking the full brunt of this attack.
Boomer falls unconscious.
Okay. And you see your construct kind of melting as it kind of interposed itself almost in a way to protect you, its master, and you see it kind of melting away. And you hear this this monster just kind of scream out a challenge at you, and then you see it disappear beneath the soil. That's going to be the end of its turn. Which takes us to Alabaster. You don't see either one of these creatures at the moment.
Makes me kind of leery. I'm just gonna yell out, "How you guys doing over there?"
Not great. It keeps hiding.
Wait,
I am
I still
facing the
think we
same
need to get
thing.
onto the ship. They're coming out of the ground. The ship's on the water. I don't think they can get through the water.
Alabaster, is that ground you're on now solid?
It seemed to be working. I mean, it still can spit at me, I guess, but it can't grab me. Little things.
That's closer, Teo. We should move to where Alabaster is and get Kellen out of the dirt here.
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay, what would Alabaster like to do?
I am trying to think what would be the smartest thing to do, and I'm not having smart decisions right now.
Hold an action.
Yeah, I'll hold an act,
Or
my
ready
crossbow out.
action,
If it comes up, I'm gonna shoot him in its mouth. Its ugly insect mouth.
Okay, it's a deal. All right, that is going to take us right to Jellen. Jellen, you're the only one that's still unhurt, my friend. Oh, no, you're not. You just took some damage. You should have 6 points off. So.
Sorry about that.
No problem. I was stoked for you for a second. All right.
So Jellen.
See, you guys got this. Teamwork.
If Jellen tries to help, I mean, is Kellen going to need to make a check to get unburied, or is he going to be able to get up from prone, or what?
No, he'd have to dig himself out, but it'd be a low DC, you know.
He still has advantage from. He hasn't used his advantage from my help yet.
I mean, just picture yourself being buried up to your knees underground, upside down.
So he already has advantage from Teo. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Yeah, Teo grabbed a hold of him and he was going to try and pull him out.
Then Jellen's going to
Help him.
and Jellen's going to run over to the area with the solid ground.
Okay. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet will get you there.
No, I can't make it.
If we go diagonal here.
There's a solid interference there. I don't think I can go diagonal across that. Quinn?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, because you could go this way too. So 5 to there, 10 to there, 15, 20, 25.
Can actually do the same type of movement, but
Sure,
right here.
of course.
You know, that's more dangerous. I'm going to do this one over here.
Alabaster and Jellen both go ahead and roll me survival checks. We're in a tense moment. We'll call it survival.
Jellen is also going to ready an action. The moment he sees an Ankag pop up, he's going to take a shot at it.
Sure thing.
I am so surviving.
You think that this monster probably could have grabbed you where it was, but it just chose to spit at you. Being at the
Well,
edge,
damn.
being at the edge of the stone where you are. You think it'll protect you from it burrowing up underneath you, but you are at the edge of the stone there. So, just putting that in perspective.
Yeah, it could bite me, but it can't pull me under.
I mean, it would pull you off of the
Yeah.
spot where you're at into the
Yeah.
into the
could pull you
dirt.
under.
Oh, okay.
Alright, is that the end of Jellen's turn? You're going to hold an action to shoot it in the face?
Yep.
Or in the mouth or whatever it is. Kellen, you're upside down. You have advantage if you want to try and get out of your situation. You are in the upside down, my friend.
That's just one.
Wunderbar.
So much fun.
You don't like being pancake food?
No, not at all. I'm having my. I think actually for Kellen, this is my first like near-death experience.
This is the closest Nightwish has ever gotten to having her dream come true.
So is it athletics to dig myself out, or can I wiggle out?
You could try and wiggle out. You feel this someone pulling on your ankle. Your left ankle is being tugged upon, so you could try and just use the force of it to try and wiggle your way out. Sure.
Let's do that and try to get.
As long as he doesn't pull your ankle out of socket.
I mean, if it gets me out of this hole, I might be okay with it.
I've been digging my hand down in the sand, getting a good grip on the calf,
Okay. That 22 is going to be good enough with that advantage, and you are finally able to kind of spit out some of the sand and take that first big deep breath.
And that was like, did I use any of my movement or?
I would say no, but you would have to use some to not be prone.
All right, I'll get up using half my movement. Leaves me with 15 feet. And that wasn't my action, right? Or was that my action?
That was your action.
15 feet. And I'm gonna hop up onto this wooden log because this is as far as I can get.
You're like, this is safer than any other fucking place right now, so.
And
Any other place I can get to.
Yeah, I'm on that log and I'm just like hyperventilating. It's like, insects, fuck insects, never again. Changing the spell, no more insects.
You just hear this little voice in your mind be like, sir, I would like to leave immediately.
I'm with you. Head to the ship.
One thing I forgot to make Boomer do a death saving throw.
Okay. Is he dashing?
Yep. 60 feet, and seeing as that's as far as he can get, he hops on top of the logs.
All right.
And that is our turn.
He is able to kind of scramble up one of those wooden poles, holding up that awning. It's kind of like one of those corrugated, like fiberglass kind of an awning that you would use as a crappy roof for something. But it's not actually fiberglass because that doesn't exist back then. All right, 17 is going to be good enough for that first death save. Good job. That is going to take us right to Teo. So you do manage to help your gnomish friend dig himself out of this sandy soil. What would you like to do?
Teo sees everyone kind of getting into better ground, so I'm gonna book it at this point.
Okay.
And I'm going to, let me see here.
You won't be able to go straight across that thing where Sebastian's sitting. You have to go around that.
That's a difficult terrain.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 8 foot tall.
Would I be able to get on top of it?
I mean, you could try.
Because it's 20 feet for me to get to it. Could I use half of my movement to scramble up it?
Yeah. Gonna join Sebastian up there? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and it does seem to be like this is some sort of a wood plank sort of a construction. It doesn't seem to be super solid. It's just kind of meant to keep the bulk of the rain off of the wood until it's ready for moving down the river on the barges. So you are able to kind of get up on top of there.
And then I will hold my action with a to also blast one of these things in the face if it pops up out of the ground. I guess since I'm up in the air, I'll be readying a javelin.
Okay. So let's see. I did not roll. Just see if this thing gets the range. Okay. That's the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right. So this first one. Let's see. From out of the ground, you suddenly see this thing again burst out of the soil, and it seems
Fire.
to be looking at Alabaster. Teo and Jellen, go ahead and roll those held actions attacks.
And me.
And Alabaster. Kellen's just taking deep breaths of sweet fresh air. Okay. So it looks like Jellen hit. Alabaster definitely hit. For 7 points of damage for Jellen.
7 points of damage for Jellen, yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that sneak attack damage for Alabaster, as well as the crit damage. You could just do the d6 down at the bottom too.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. It should be 2d6 though, because the crit, right?
Right. But isn't your sneak attack damage already 2d6?
Yep, at level 3 it becomes 2d6.
Yeah. So it should
So
be
it's technically 46.
should be 46. Yeah. So another 7 points.
16.
Okay. So Teo, you launched the. What did you throw something? Javelin. You throw a javelin at this creature, which kind of like hits onto the carapace, the chitinous armor of this insectoid monstrosity, and it kind of bounces off of it. Jellen, your bolt lands right into kind of like underneath the couple of forelegs there. Alabaster, as this thing is rearing up and it's just leaning over you, ready to attack you, you just immediately pull up and you fire a shot off, and as it's kind of like, Rah! It just goes right into the roof of its mouth, and you see it just kind of rock backwards from this shot right into its mouth, and you see it just kind of fall over to the ground and down. And that is going to take us this next creature. And as you guys kind of take a breath, as you see this creature kind of fall to the earth, Kellen, you're kind of still catching your breath, and suddenly you see the earth around you shaking as this creature springs up out of the soil and the sand, and it tries to grab a hold of you once again.
Kellen!
Oof. 22 is going to hit.
Oh, hold up. There's this lovely thing called, what's it called? Mirror image.
Oh, you're right. It's true.
Yeah. It hits an image and goes poof.
Okay, so as it lashes out at you, you do. Actually, let me do this. Oh, I think I took away the mirror image one because it was crazy looking. I did. Anyway, so it does take away one of those mirror images, and you see it kind of like looking in confusion, and then it just kind of like shakes its head almost a little bit, and then you see it slip down back into the soil. You can take an opportunity attack if you would like to.
They've got nothing to opportunity attack with.
Okay. All right, and that is going to bring us to the top of the order in Alabaster. You heard this commotion over from the side, but you didn't see it because it was behind that chimney that's there.
So are we done yet? Are they dead?
Jellen did see it, and Teo did see it.
There's one more at least.
Well, I'm gonna try to get to that boat. I don't know what y'all doing.
Okay, so you're going to make a run for it?
Then I'll use my dash. I'm gonna use dash.
Okay. Can a bonus action dash too?
As far as I can get.
Did you bonus action dash?
Yeah, just did my movement and then dash.
You have 2 dashes. You can use your action to dash and your bonus action to dash.
Rogue.
Really?
You're a rogue, my friend.
Then I'm gonna keep.
Got another 30 feet. Okay.
Well, that's 25 right to the edge of the dock.
So there is a gangplank there. So you could go out on the gangplank, but you would have to stop there. Okay. All right, as you get closer to this ship, you could see that it does seem to be mostly empty. Up at the front of this ship, you see what looks to be like a large covering, like a burlap blanket or just a large piece of burlap that seems to be kind of draped over something at the front of this ship. And that's going to be the end of your turn?
That's my turn.
Okay. That is going to take us right to Jellen. What would you like to do, sir? We're almost there, Zeke. It's 9 o'clock.
One second.
No, you're good, man.
Jellen moves to. Yeah, Jellen moves right here.
Go.
Ready's in action for another bolt and says,
Kellen, over here.
and
I'm
that's
coming.
Okay. And go ahead and roll another save for Boomer. It's another good one. Nicely done. All right, that was gonna. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
I just said 2 successes.
Yeah, you should be at 2, right?
Yes, I was just stating it. 2 successes, 0 fails.
Kellen. This thing just tried to take another bite out of you.
I'm not that tasty, I swear. It's back on the ground, right?
It is back underground. I'm gonna be over here so the people at home can see me.
Okay. We're gonna book it.
Okay. We'll get these cameras fixed here in just a second. I could be over here and be on Mitch's screen.
That's about as far as I.
There's Mitch.
That can probably wouldn't get me to the ship, so I move there, and then oh, I don't know what to do here. I'm gonna hold my action to use my wizard's hat to try and cast a spell not on my spell list if the thing pops up again.
Aren't you here?
25 feet, or is it difficult terrain?
You'd be here.
Oh, sorry. World square. Okay.
You're good. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's in your
Oh,
turn?
you're on the edge.
Yep. Just hold my action to use my hat to try and cast a cantrip, a damaging cantrip from my hat once the thing reappears.
Teo.
All right, I am, and so no sign of this new one yet.
Nope, but you could try and hold another action.
I am going to also book it for the boat.
It's got to be over here now.
And then I will also use, yeah, I'm just gonna hold an action, prepare to attack if one pops up.
Okay. Well, let's get right to that then, because this guy is going to pop up. So all three of those held actions, go ahead and roll those. Except he is going to pop up over here. And you see this thing looming again. Seems to really want to eat this little gnome.
Just missed.
Just trying to make sure I know the rules of the hat. It's been a while.
Yeah. 12 is not going to hit.
DC 10 Arcana check.
You can cast any one cantrip with that, right?
Yeah, as long as I make the DC 10 Arcana check.
Done.
Wonderful. So, he had to pop up right next to me, didn't he?
It wants to
Quick,
eat you.
Cisco! One second, I'm sorry. Filter wizard spell.
Does look like it's hurting.
You know what? Screw it. I've got a dagger. I'll go ahead and try to. See, I pull the hat from the top of my head and concentrate and try to the magic to work, and it seems to work as my blade ignites in green flame, and I stab at him.
Okay. Green flame blade it is.
So, dagger attack. I thought I had a dagger, so then I'll try.
not?
Dagger on my sheet, just not on my tokens actions.
Weird. You do have one on your sheet, though?
Rolling it right now. And I do have an inspiration, and this guy tried to murder me, so I'm definitely going to use it.
A couple times.
I didn't use it before because I've been getting help from various people, but I'll take that advantage for sure.
Ooh, son! What a time to crit.
Alright, so this is the dagger damage.
4 points of damage.
There's that, and then
Don't do it.
and then D8. Nope, there's no extra fire damage because we're not that level. So just a D8, but it's cool green flames.
Well, don't you do double dagger damage and double flame damage? Or the flame is not a roll, it's just your intelligence, right?
It's supposed to leap to another target because we're not level 5,
Right.
so I actually won't do any extra fire damage.
So 8 points total?
Yeah, it's still the best spell I can do because otherwise it was.
I'm sorry. Do you still put your dex mod on the dagger damage?
Yeah. So green flame blade is you make immediate attack. So normal dagger attack or weapon attack, and then fire leaps to another target within 5 feet. That takes your intelligence modifier.
But because there's no other target, this extra damage just isn't happening.
Yeah, just doesn't happen.
So it was a waste of a spell?
I mean, it's a cantrip, right? So
It's a cantrip, yeah. So
it just looks cool.
Okay.
It's very cool because I got I'm not a melee guy, but my magical stab was quite successful.
And it
so
hit.
there.
It hit. And
Yeah,
this
that's
thing
all I care about.
is going to... What roll to myself? What are you talking about? I don't do things like that. But I just did. And you see this this creature, Kellen and Jellen, go ahead and roll me perception checks. I think we lost our cleric.
Yeah, I think Zeke had kiddo things he had to go.
It's fine. Kellen, you can tell that this creature, it seems like it wants to flee, but it's kind of like it's like starting to flee, but you see it's like also seems to be drawn to something. You see it a couple of times kind of turn towards this fireplace. And then it kind of looks towards this fireplace for a moment, and then it just kind of turns and just almost in like this desperation, it lunges at you.
It's another clone. It goes poof.
As another one of your mirror images disappears from this monster's attack. And it does not slip back down under the sand this time. That is going to take us right to Alabaster. We're almost there.
Alabaster is just gonna jump onto the boat and just be like, "I'm on the boat, everybody!" And then that's my turn. I'm not gonna introduce a character who's not here right now.
Yeah. Okay. And that'll bring us to Taylor.
I'm looking in the boat.
Or Jellen. I'm sorry. You do see this monstrosity leaning over your brother. Just try to take a bite.
Is Dan talking? I can't hear him.
No.
No, I was responding to someone in my house. Sorry.
We're almost done, guys. It's Jellen's turn.
Oh, is it my turn right now?
It is your turn right now.
I lost sound for everybody for some reason. Hold on. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So this thing didn't go back underneath?
It did not.
Jellen's gonna take a shot at it.
Okay.
Actually, before he says that, no, Kellen's right there. Jellen's gonna take a shot at it. Bloodthirsty.
As he sees you take a shot at it, he goes, "It wants something. It's looking at the fireplace strangely."
It's like, yeah, right now it's trying to eat you.
Fired.
Okay. 11 is not going to be good enough to hit.
That's the turn.
Okay, go
Let's
ahead and
raise
roll
Boomer.
that last check for Boomer, hopefully. And that'll take us right into Kellen. Done.
Boomer is stable.
Boomer is stabilized.
Well, that's the magic of the house of the hat. So let's once again touch our book, and the words will spawn from the page and wrap around my hands and begin to crackle electricity as I reach out and try to shocking grasp the anchor.
Okay. Seventeen's gonna hit.
Wonderful.
For
Takes
6 points.
6 lightning.
How would you like to do this?
Awesome. I am
The revenge
thoroughly
is yours.
annoyed with the pancake who's been trying to kill me. So
This
yeah,
is the one.
as the sort of words wrap around my hands and the lightning begins to crackle, we're gonna let out the sort of shrill battle cry, and also the battle cry is basically cursing in no language. And
What does that sound like?
and just shove my electrified hands straight down its gullet and just fry it until those eyes pop out of its socket.
All right. And as Kellen lashes out with this shocking grasp, you see the electricity race around this creature. And as it falls to the ground, we are out of combat. And as the rain and the sounds of the birds and the sounds of this empty logging camp kind of take over from the heat of the battle, this is going to be where we call it for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for staying with us. Sorry about the kind of camera mess up at the end there. One of our players got called away, as does happen. Please come back and see us again next week. I am super stoked to be able to get his character introduced. It took a little bit longer than we had planned, and things happen. So that's online gaming and just D&D in general. So definitely looking forward to getting that happening next week, and I look forward to seeing everybody coming to see us again here next week as well. Thank you so much to you guys for coming and playing in this campaign. I definitely enjoy playing this game with you guys, and I appreciate you taking time out of your lives to come and do that with me every week. If you are out there and you're kind of searching around the internet, go check out Patreon. Check out Limithron when you're over there. He does some great map and other token assets and stuff like that for just general D&D campaigns, and he'll definitely help you take your game to the next level, especially if you're doing any kind of like ocean or pirate theme kind of stuff. He's got a ton of resources for that, and he does a really good job on this. While you're there, please go check out the Patreon for Kronos World. We definitely appreciate any support that we get. It definitely helps to keep the channel growing and alive and running, so definitely appreciate that as well. And yeah, come back and see us again next week on Sunday for the Fireside Tales. If you like pirate stuff, come check us out on Thursday at 6 o'clock as well. We're going to be having a new GM taken over, and I'm very excited for that this week. We will not be broadcasting because it is, of course, Thanksgiving, but you'll be able to catch up with us on that in a couple of weeks here, about a week and a half. So anyway, you guys have a great night. I'm over here just awkwardly trying to be on camera while I talk to you guys. Love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we will see you again next week. Bye, y'all.